as a follow-up to the video that I did the other day on how to disassemble a gas blowback pistol, I'm going to show you how to disassemble and clean a gas blowback rifle. This is my VFC Scar H. It's a very good gas blowback. I like it very much. It's been good to me. Gas blowbacks can be finicky, depending on what brand you get. If you buy a decent brand, you should be pretty okay. Now these, contrary to some people's opinions, do need cleaning and maintenance. I will take this apart and clean it every 2 to 3 games. In the summer, every 2, maybe 1 to 2 games. In the summer more regularly, because you get, due to the dry conditions, there's more dust in the air, more shit, and that will get in here, and you don't want all those little dust gremlins messing with your bits. Right, I will join you in the voiceover in a moment. Right folks, I'll try not to ramble here and tell you what I'm doing. So this is me just pushing out the body pin. That goes from right to left, and then I'm just pulling the bolt back a little bit and pulling the lower receiver off the riff. Don't go wailing that pin, you'll wreck it and your tech will be very unhappy. That's me pulling the stock off. It just pulls straight up and off. That's the recoil buffer that goes in. That is it goes in a certain way. It's very obvious when you take it apart how to reinstall it. That's me taking the bolt handle off and then just the bolt out. Right. Now this is me just getting some solvent on a rag. So what I use, I call it Super Terps. It's just an industrial grade solvent. You can use acetone, you can use isopropyl alcohol, whatever your preferred cleaning agent is. So I'm just trying. What I'm doing here is attempting to remove all of the old lubricant and contaminants. You can see me just pulling the nozzle there, just checking the spring. I'm also inspecting, as I'm doing this, the part that feeds the BB out of your magazine and into the chamber. Make sure that's not worn or chipped or cracked in any way. This is the recoil buffer I'm cleaning off now. Again, I'm just inspecting that, making sure the rubber's still pliable and that little recoil pad on it is still intact and not breaking down or degrading. This made you clean the recoil spring. You don't have to be super thorough on the recoil spring. You're just trying to get the bulk of the muck off. If you do this regularly enough, the cleaning should be quite easy. You shouldn't have to clean a ton of stuff out. This is me getting into the upper receiver. Now, I'm really trying to get in there on those rails and clear out that grease from last time that I lubed it. The reason being that grease will trap any dirt and contaminants and keeps it sort of in those places so it doesn't migrate to other places. But when you come to clean it, you want to use a solvent that will pull. So either isopropyl or acetone, or as I'm using here, like just an industrial grade solvent, will actually pull that leftover lubricant out of the pores of the metal, so that when you put new in, it doesn't get contaminated with old lubricant. Now I'm going to clean the barrel. As I did the other day, I will go from breech to muzzle. That's my preferred method. It just keeps all the stuff going out of the system rather than pulling stuff back into the system. You're pulling it straight off your hot rubber. As you can see, I was having a bit of a fumble there getting the patches in today. I'm not great every day. Some days I have shaky hands, a little bit too much caffeine, I think. So that's that wet patch gone through. I'm just going to pull a clean patch through it now. And just clean out that leftover residue that is in the barrel. Identical to how we did the pistol the other day. There's not really a lot more to it than that, folks. So I'll just let you watch me do that for a minute, shall I? Right, now to the lubrication. This is Super Lube PTFE grease and Super Lube synthetic oil. What I'm going to do here is just put a couple of small dots on the bolt carrier on the wear points. Now, the way you identify wear points is when you look at it, it will be the parts that have gone a little bit shiny where the finish has worn off the parts on one another. I'm only putting a small dab on, and then I'm spreading that out with my finger. You're not trying to put a massive film on. You're not trying to stuff it full of lube, because if you over lube something, it will actually invite it to hold on to more contaminants, i.e. dirt, debris, things of that nature. You don't want this. That's me just reinserting that. Now I'm going to just put a little bit of grease on the main spring of the gun, the recoil spring. Just spread it out with fingers. Not trying to be super delicate with that in any way. That's the recoil buffer. Now this was the mistake I spoke about earlier. You'll see me put that in. Now I go to reinstall the bolt handle and have to pull those two components back out because I assembled it incorrectly. I've done this many times, and it just goes to show even someone that's been doing it as long as I have makes mistakes. There's nothing wrong with that. The key is not to force things and try and mash things together, because you'll end up breaking something and you don't want that. So just take your time, make sure you're assembling things correctly. If it's not quite going together, sit back, have a look at it, have a think. Now I'm lubing the lower here. I'm just getting some grease on the hammer and the sliding components that interact with the bolt, which you're going to see the mouse wear. And then this is me just taking some of that synthetic oil and just give it a couple of dabs on the pivot points, so the safety mechanism, the pin that the hammer rides on, just those types of things. It will just add to the longevity and make it run a bit nicer and a bit smoother. Then this is me putting the lower back on the upper. I'm just pulling the bolt back a little bit, clipping the back in, fronts in. That's it, done there. Now I'm just wiping off some excess grease here. It always serves you to wipe off any excess grease on the outside, again, as to not trap contaminants on the rift. This is what we're trying to avoid, folks. This is me just function checking it in safe, semi and full, and then I'm just going to stick a mag in. Now I know this gun's clear, it's my house, I'll do what I want. I'm just going to pull the trigger a couple of times and make sure it cycles, functions right. That's all good, lovely sound, and I'm out of here, folks.